Okay, today we're going to make music that sounds like the Terminator score from the classic 80s movie. Now, it's not exact, obviously, but this will get you in the ballpark, and it's a good tutorial for beginners to understand the sounds of that score and how to get there. So we'll break this down as fast as possible here. On the first track here, we've got Brass Brigade Brass Stabs, which is a sample from GarageBand, but I've cut it way down just to this portion right here. I've panned one to the left and one to the right, and I've also pitched them down using the pitch shifter. And I've also done a slight delay on the right one, so they're slightly out of time and they're both slightly out of pitch. This one's down -12 semitones. This one is down -9, and the sample delay is 106. So that gives you sort of an idea of what we're starting with. Let's hear how that sounds. This is the first one, pan to the left. So the other thing I should note here is that I've slowed the tempo way down to 5 beats per minute, and we're in G minor. So the slowing down of the tempo and the pitching down of the brass sample gives you that sort of atmospheric sound that you can't even quite place that it is a brass sample. It's hard to even place what that is. So the right one sounds like this. And you play them together, and it sort of has this glorious atmosphere to it that's very easy to achieve. Okay, so next we have something called brainwaves, which is actually a sample or loop, I guess you could say, that's from GarageBand, but when it's slowed down to 5 beats per minute, it sounds really cool and gnarly and sort of gives you another texture that you can work with here. And this one I've also pitch shifted down 11 semitones. So let's hear this one. This is the first one, there's two. So it sort of gives you that weird atmospheric vibe that you can't quite tell what it is. And again, slowing it down and changing the pitch really helps you achieve that. This one is how it sounds originally. It's not the right tempo as it originally was, obviously, but the pitch hasn't been changed. So what we're gonna do here is play this one. So you can see it's just these sustained notes and a synthesizer sound. But when you play them all together, both together rather, it sounds like this. It gives you a very thick sound, very atmospheric. So then we've got a string track here. And this one's pretty simple. It's literally one note. Between the C2 and the C3 here. But what we've got going on is also an echo and a little auto filter. Now the auto filter is doing some of the heavy lifting here, because if we play without the auto filter, here's what it sounds like. But the auto filter gives it this extra little like movement. So it's the always rising filter, and it sounds like this with the auto filter on. So you play all of these together, and you get our first and last section of this little piece of score here. Okay, so it's very atmospheric. You can probably recognize music like that from the 80s movies, action movies especially. So the second part here is sort of like the main Terminator type theme. It's obviously not exactly the theme. Very quickly, roughly played. It's not great by any means, but it'll get you the idea of what we're going for here. So these are going to be a lot of brass. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 digital brass, and then 1 down here as well. A lot of synth brass in this section. So it's a very simple pattern. I played it once on a lower register, then I grabbed everything and I dragged it up 12 spaces and doubled it. So here it is, just this first instrument, which is this 80s fantasy brass, synth brass. So we've doubled that with this bright synth brass. So that's pretty much the main one. These other layers are important. Kind of sounds like The Shining, really. And then this one is slow. It swells after every note. So you put all that together. Still didn't quite sound big enough for me, so I added in some more layers. This is a snowdrift. I believe it's like a synth string. And we got epic synth strings underneath. Synth vox, vocals, whatever you prefer. And underneath that, not playing the same pattern, but playing a different pattern, is just this brass, and it's just this one note. But it's sustained for this whole time. It sort of gives you that low bass, sub-bass almost feeling. And then to give it a tiny bit of texture, I've got this sample down here, this loop called Bombastic Theme 02. So when you slow that down, it really sounds quite different than it does originally. Um, but then we go back into the original part, and then it's over. It ends. We got some automation too. I automated the ending to have a fade out. And that's pretty much it. So let's go through it all together. And if you liked the video, subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Here's the whole thing.